We are back, and the polls in Colorado close in 30 minutes on this primary day.
Yeah, the decisions made tonight could have a lasting impact on your life locally. Let's take a look at how many Coloradans have their ballots. And from the Secretary of State's office, more than 878,000 ballots have been returned. Of those, the majority from registered Republicans, nearly 430,000. 371,000 registered Democrats have voted.
And there you see more than 330,000 ballots in from unaffiliated voters. Voter turnout, though, so far less than what we saw back in 2018. Still, we've got 30 minutes left for all of you to cast your votes. The poll's closing at 7 o'clock. Political specialist Shaun here right now with insight on how this night could play out. Shaun?
Well, Jim, the big primaries are on the Republican side, and they will not only set the stage for this November, but define the state party for years to come. Election deniers are making a play to take control of the GOP. Of the 3 Republicans running to be the state's chief election officer, former Jefferson County Clerk Pam Anderson, the only non-election denier. In the U.S. Senate and gubernatorial primaries, Ron Hanks and Greg Lopez subscribe to the big lie. Joe Day and Heidi Ganahl do not. So, how did things shake out? Let's bring in our CBS 4 analyst, Democrat Mike Dino, Republican Dick Wadhams. You know, these races are drawing national attention and money, just an indication of what's at stake here. Dick, how much does election security versus crime, inflation, all these other issues play into these races?
In this primary, Shaun, the election denial crowd is the issue. And it will determine if Colorado Republicans are a valid, rational, relevant political party going into November. Because if the election deniers win these primaries, the election is essentially over for the Colorado Republican Party.
What do you think, Mike? I know you think the general election, we're going to see different issues at play, but in this primary, do you agree?
I agree. I think it's been about ideology. Who is more conservative and right-wing more than the other candidate? And I think if Dems have really truly played to the degree they have, and I think they have in trying to influence that, they may have already done the damage, because I think some of the voters who are voting for Republicans want that extremism. And if that extremism isn't on the ballot in November, I'm wondering if they'll show up to vote.
You know, Dick, this is supposed to be a good year for Republicans, but if the election deniers sweep these primaries, do you see any money coming into this state?
No, no. The National Party will totally reject Colorado as a viable place to play. And that's the problem, Shaun, is that there is no hope of winning a general election if those 3 races nominate election deniers.
Which is why Democrats are putting the money into the primary.
It also tells you Democrats are nervous about Colorado if others win these primaries.
Right. And Mike, the unaffiliated voters continue to break for Republicans in this. I think about 30,000 more are voting on the Republican ballot. Will they swing, do you think, the races for the non-election deniers?
I think that they, you know, we saw 2 years ago how they swung the races for the Democrats, and I think they can play a big role in that. I mean, they are the largest group of registered voters in the state, and they continue to get larger. So I suspect that they'll make the difference.
We shall see. It's a big night ahead. Join us on our streaming site at cbsdenver.com starting at 7:30. We'll have more analysis and the results.